The person with the cell phone number ending in 9272, what is your name?
Jesse Powell.
All right, Mr. Powell, have you checked in? You can mute yourself by pushing star. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I've been trying to check in, but I cannot get on video.
Oh. So you can mute yourself by pushing *6, and once your case is called, you push *6 to unmute, okay?
You said *6?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Collins here. Good morning, person with the iPhone, what is your name?
This Darius Graham, it had clicked off.
Okay, Mr. Graham.
Mr. Graham, are you laying down?
No, I'm Carson is telling. Yeah, I'm sitting up.
All right. Thank you.
Hi, this is my son. You know what time it has been to yeah, it's just it's not. Okay. Okay, thank you. He's still okay. He doesn't mind. He can stay on as long as he can.
Morning.
Yeah, that's the officer in the case. That person's in one. It's 1 week.
You know the name?
Yeah.
Step up here, sir.
I can't show who is this.
Roger Harper? No. Sorry.
Parties on Hopper. Calling case number 230-57788. People versus Roger Harper. Defendant is charged with count 1, possession of a controlled substance less than 25 grams of cocaine. Defendant is a habitual offender, has a second offense notice. This matters up for exam.
Good morning, Your Honor. Ed and both appearing on behalf of the people, P86266.
Good morning, Your Honor. Maurice Davis, P76203, appearing with Roger Harper, who's present standing to my right. Mr. Harper, state your name.
Roger Harper?
Thank you.
No, Your Honor, today's being time set for examination is actually about 5 minutes past the time set for exam. My officers have failed to appear on our records.
There's a move to dismiss.
This is Smith, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
She's got some case.
Oh, okay, because I called on Louis, they said.
Counsel, can you go, Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Yeah, you step.
Who's about to call me? Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I didn't- All right, this is on Lewis. Calling case number 230-57920. People versus Claude Lewis III. Defendant is charged with count 1, assault with intent to murder. This has a bit, the defendant is a habitual offender, has a forfeit offense notice. This matter is up for a public comment.
Good morning, Your Honor. Max Beisel, P77513 on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Max Manugian, P76341, appearing on behalf of Claude Lewis.
Mr. Manugian, were you appointed?
Judge, I was appointed on this matter. It's my understanding that Mr. Lewis's family either has or is in the process of retaining counsel for him.
Yes, we have retained counsel here. I don't have an appearance.
We submitted the appearance at 5 p.m. yesterday, so you might not have it yet.
Well, I need you to submit one before you leave.
Okay.
Because this is no telling how long it takes you to go.
I will do that.
Okay.
Thank
Yes, Mr. Manugian, you're excused. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Appearance, please.
Attorney Rita Soka, P86239, appearing on behalf of Claude Lewis, who is not here, and I would waive his presence.
All right, we'll waive his appearance for the purpose of this hearing. Send this matter for preliminary exam, all right?
Your Honor, I would like to address his competency. We have reasons to believe that he is incompetent to stand trial, and we would like to request forensic evaluation.
Why?
Why?
Yeah, you have to, there's 2 reasons why I would do that. You have to give me one of them.
So, his family indicated that he is diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and he was in a psychiatric facility over the last, 2 weeks before he turned himself into, Wayne Jail and before the, alleged incident.
Okay, but still not a reason. You have to be, counsel, you have to tell me that your client is either not capable of assisting you, in this, through these proceedings, or, that, he doesn't understand the parties and the process, et cetera. I mean, those are the two reasons.
And that is the reason, is that because of what's his, diagnosis and his mental state, he will not be able to assist me in his defense. So,
Right.
we'd like to
Okay,
ask.
I just have to have it on the record.
Okay,
Okay. All right, what we'll do, the court will refer this matter for competency to stand trial. Matters will be referred to the Center for Forensic Psychiatry. And,
And Judge, if I might, would defense also seek their independent exam at the same time, so we're not waiting 6 months to have the exam?
well, I mean, there's no sense in her, me ordering her to do it now, depending on what the, she has to wait to see what the evaluation is gonna say. She
Okay,
may agree with the evaluation,
thank you,
all
Judge.
right?
And then also the victim in this case is now deceased. So I just want to put the defense and the court on notice that at the exam that people will be moving to amend to first degree murder.
Okay, you're gonna need to amend it before then, because then I'm gonna have to transfer this to Judge King.
Okay, I will
Alright.
file the amended complaint.
Okay, thank you. But in the meanwhile, we're gonna give you a return date. November 27th at 8:30.
That works for the people, Judge.
Counsel?
yeah. Sorry. That works for us, that works.
All right. Anything else?
That's it for the defense.
Nothing from the people, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Conclude the hearing.
Did you do comprehensive Zoom, Judge?
Hmm?
Zoom for comprehensive?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
So, no.
It's Mr. Newman here. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Culpepper, are you ready? We get Mr. Newman?
Well, I believe the case is set for 9:30.
Yeah.
Oh,
We got a little time.
Oh, okay, yeah, yes. Sorry, go ahead.
We're waiting on O'Donnell.
That is the attorney, that's the officer judge, they have to spot attorney, they have to spot assign, yeah, because something about his case number, or whatever they hit is incorrect, so they didn't assign someone, but she did say she's gonna be assigned. It's the third circuit.
Yes, Giles.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes, indeed.
They gotta assign someone from across the street. Yeah, we already called, yeah. You on top of it.
Put in this chair.
You said,
I know what else she has. Yeah, that's what I'm used to getting.
I'm gonna let you have it.
You know, in that chair, Tyrone be able to type with one finger.
No, she, what you?
You said that chair, you'll be able to typing with one finger.
Oh, that's right. It take a long time. I'm doing a great job.
He said, keep you right here.
Okay.
This is why Judge Giles is gonna save you guys the time. Clark, Lewis. It's a kind of thing to take these. So, you're right, but I'm gonna send out the emails first. You know.
Right. We think this.
First time.
Right.
That's better go.
And then you end up.
You do the same thing.
6.
Huh?
6. I was in my car.
soon as, I don't want to prepare. They sell a warranty? Yeah. Lisa. So it's late, so I just don't. Which ones are? That's right. See if you like it. That depends. See if you like it, you like it. That's it. Oh, yeah, I had another truck. Star drive. Oh, got that. Silverado. So
Attorney Harris, you need to start your video, your audio. Hopefully it's on. Mr. Harris. Keep going in and out.
Commissioner.
I believe he should be here. I don't see his name. Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's canceled.
A match. Do we have a match? On the Cascot and Grant.
You're waiting, it's a Cody. It's a Cody song. I thought it was Mr. Harris.
Training. No, she's still. Right. Yeah.
Judge Shabri courtroom.
Yeah.
Well, my job is to let you know. That's it. That is. Cheers. I have accomplished my goal.
Thank God he just agrees first, I would have got here on time. Late, somewhere.
I appreciate you coming here, Bert.
They good? She does, she does.
Huh?
She does, she calls, and where are
Well, I called her, want me to call her?
you? I called my office and told her to call, so I was here. I'll be here shortly.
Okay. Did you get the discovery on this?
Sir?
Did you get the discovery?
We have an issue on that, but it may not become, it may be a moot issue. He said, I don't know what he said, but I didn't see any still shots on that.
Good morning, Attorney Harris. Which case are you here for?
It's a spot appointment on, I believe the name is Cowell.
Calling case number 230-57922, and that's People versus Jarius Graham, defendant number 1, and defendant number 2 is Jesse Powell. Both defendants are charged with count 1, assaulting, resisting, obstructing of a police officer, Defendant number one is a habitual offender, has a fourth offense notice. And defendant number two as well. And both matters are here for a proper cause hearing. Appearances, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Adam Bookwood, appearing on behalf of the people, PD 6266.
And good morning, Your Honor. May it please this most honorable court, Nicole Casca, P55470, on behalf of Mr. Graham. Mr. Graham and I are both on Zoom video. Mr. Graham, can you please unmute and state your full name for the record and that you do consent to having this hearing conducted by Zoom?
Darius Graham. And I do consent.
Thank you.
This is the Powell case, or the audio cut out?
It's a
Hello.
two defendant case. Yes, it's the Powell case. Your appearance, please.
Okay. Lyle Harris, spot appointed on behalf of Mr. Powell.
All right, you waive your client's appearance for the purpose of this hearing?
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Set this for exam August 1st at 9:45.
Judge, that's going to be a problem, at least at the present time. You have a trial starting on the 31st.
Judge,
Which-
what was the date and time? I'm sorry, because the audio cut out because Mr. Harris is behind me on the same floor and Frank Murphy.
All right, I said August 1st, but Mr. Harris has a problem with that. Said August 1st at 9:45.
I have a trial starting on the 31st at present.
Yeah, that's, I also have a conflict, Judge, on that date and time.
How long is your trial? How long is your trial?
I'm not sure. You speaking to me, Judge? My trial starts at the 31st.
Yeah,
If it
How
goes,
long is-
it'll probably be 30. My guess is 3 days, 31st, 1st, and 2nd.
Could we,
August 3rd, 9:30?
Yeah, I'll put that down for, yeah.
Judge, what time did you say again?
August 3rd at 9:30.
Actually, Judge, is it possible to do it any later than that in the morning? I'm looking, I have a juvenile matter with Judge Szymanski at 9:30. Pre-trial.
At 10 o'clock.
Well, okay, I mean,
These have to hold precedence over juvenile matters.
I haven't, that goes to juvenile court, Judge.
Judge, that works for,
Yes,
It's a Zoom.
these matters are criminal matters, they're felony matters, they hold precedence over juvenile matters. So I'll do 10 o'clock, is that good?
Can we make it like 10:30 today?
No,
All right,
I'm
I
doing
guess
the
I'll
best
just tell,
Mr. Harris.
it's with a judge, not a referee. Judge
It
Szymanski.
doesn't matter. There's still
Okay,
an order of precedence.
All right, fine, Judge. Okay. I'll let Judge Szymanski's court know if we're not done by 10. Okay.
Thank you.
Judge, may I address a condition on my client's bond? It's actually as to the type of condition.
Hold on 1 second, let me catch up, please.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
I'm hearing my voice. I'm like, where the?
I don't, what, you guys have the same.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Graham.
Okay.
I mean, Ms. Sorry.
That's okay, Judge. Thank you. Judge, the only thing we're just trying to do, because my client, is self-employed as a plumber and also has a construction company that he runs. He has not been able, since his release, has not been able to go and take any jobs because they're saying house arrest. And he's not been able to finish his jobs. He's in lieu of almost being able, they're going to be suing him for not finishing the jobs that were started before he was arrested. Further, Judge, my client is the sole caretaker and provider for his 6-year-old son. And he has not been able to get him to any of his activities that have already been paid and enrolled in for the summer and anything like that. So we're asking if the court could do one of two things, either to eliminate the tether completely or in the alternative to make it open hours instead of house arrest, since it is a GPS tether.
You know what you heard?
Yeah, Judge, I'm kind of surprised there's a house arrest provision on just an R&O. I understand the fourth habitual. But I don't have any objection to the hours being altered.
I mean, any reason to have a tether on somebody, this is.
I agree.
I agree. All right, court's gonna remove the tether. I just need an order, please.
Thank you, Judge. I will send that over. I'll send that over later. Probably it's going to be early afternoon by the time I get out of court. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Graham, we can get, yes?
Would you like my email address so you can send it directly to me?
Oh my gosh, I would love that, please.
Okay, I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, I will check it out. And I do have Discovery, both video
Yes,
and
hold on.
paper.
Ms. Casca, we're gonna do this easy. Just give me a bond reduction form. I'll just do it now.
Oh, okay. The judge is going to.
I appreciate that, Judge. Thank you for helping me out.
You're welcome.
Okay.
We'll
Mr. Graham,
send
it's
the-
gonna be Zoom, August 3rd at 10 a.m. for in-person exam.
I can't, you like you breaking up.
Hello?
Hello, you're back August 3rd at 10 a.m. In-person exam.
August 3rd.
All right,
August
just
3rd.
so you know, I don't do t-shirts or sweats. Please wear a shirt with a collar.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
you're welcome.
Mr. Coker, Mr. Clark, come and sit.
Parties on Newman. Calling case number 230-57844. And that's People versus Rayvon Newman. Defendant is charged with count 1, assault with intent to murder. Count 2, assault with intent to do great bodily harm, that's in murder or by strangulation. Count 3, belongs to assault. Count 4 and 5, possession, as well as 6, possession of a felony firearm. And this matter is up for exam. Appearances, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Adam Booklet on behalf of the people, P86266.
There goes Coker, defense 23520.
Thank you. All right, are we ready to proceed?
No, Your Honor. Mr. Ronnie Williams, who's the complaining witness in this case, was subpoenaed and he has failed to appear.
You heard from him at all?
Yes, Your Honor. He actually did call me this morning to indicate to me that he did get a subpoena. He told me he was scared to come and testify. I explained to him what would happen if he did not come and testify. I asked him if there had been any threats made against him for him to not want to testify. He told me no. He indicated that he simply just wasn't sure if he wanted to or not. Again, I reiterated his time to him. I told him what would happen if he did come, what would happen if he didn't come, and he has since failed to appear. It's now 7 minutes past the exam time. All right.
Move to dismiss. As dismissed without prejudice.
Thank you.
Thank you. We need a dismissal form for focus, please.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, how you doing?
Good. Good morning. We're waiting for you for your 9 o'clock downstairs. Is your client here? Yes. And I'm your escort. Yes. I just want to know if your client here, because I'm not upstairs. Okay. See, good, Giles is your favorite. No. Okay, for 9 o'clock, here's 9 o'clock. How you like that? That's what you ain't saying, my is with the cruise and that person. Wow.
Thank you very much. Go back. Have to wait so you can pick. There you go. All right, nice to meet you. That's why you just wanted to get it done. Every time you joke, we got work to do. Let's go.
We on time, 10 o'clock.
Like if he's the one they get an earful, but he is not. He's not here with the program for us. As long as you get your beat, that's all that matters.
This is not like that.
He's you.
I think I might have it here, but I'm not sure. Start with a J?
Yes.
You have it? I think I do. It's Juanita.Silman.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure.
I didn't give you that. Did you need to sign that? Did he? Did you?
Hmm?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I know sometimes you do something.
Yeah, but the motion.
Right.
It's Culpepper, no, it's Juanita.
I told his client to stay out here.
Oh.
I know you already know what Attorney Hamilton.
I saw her. I saw you.
Attorney Hamilton.
I'm here.
For the 10 o'clock.
Yeah, she's here.
Yeah, she's here. And he's here too, sir.
On time. This time.
You guys remember?
Huh?
You guys remember?
Peterson, this is. I don't know how many times. Comes in an hour and a half late.
Oh, yeah.
So the last time I locked him up.
I think I remember that last week. Last week?
Yeah.
This is the last 2 times he came in, he got locked up. This is the last 2 times.
The last time I let him out though.
Yeah, he came on Zoom. Yeah, the next day.
Yeah.
I almost fell backwards when we walked through the door because I forgot who he was. I looked up and said, "You again?" Come in here like he was on time. Right. He done everything.
Oh, my God.
Apparently. No, that's you trying to-
Mean nothing to them.
Until they look for something, then they begging us for the copies. I don't know.
I even told him I was gonna bring his, bro. Oh, man. Thanks, guys. It's gonna be fun. After all of that, not showing
I know, right? That's all. I went the last minute break once, and I went to this.
Yeah.
Man, you got some tough cases you Yeah.
I can't believe they didn't send me back. Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Wow.
Like that last guy, that last case was on the news.
Was it?
Yeah.
I mean, I figured with it.
But the guy calls me this morning and he's giving me like I don't want to be insensitive, but he's giving me like a sob story. I'm like, man, but like, if you're actually scared, you gotta come. You gotta come and test.
You know, sometimes it's a bit more story.
Yeah, oh yeah.
When they don't show up like that, it's all.
Yeah. In the video, my victim like hits their car like at like 3 miles an hour. It's like a minor accident. And my guy's like trying to creep away. He's trying to like flee the accident scene. And the defendant comes out. So it's like, yeah, I agree with you. I think there's always more to the story. You know, the video is kind of.
He should have creeped. He should
He's like slowly like driving away, and then he sees the gun and he goes, "Boom!" Yeah, pretty nuts. I'm excited. I'm excited to hold it. It's fun.
I'm like,
Yeah, that's true. And, I was like, right over at Circuit Court now, Rob, he got, apartment, Rob said that they had like, lately you see lines all over. That's crazy. You know?
Well, I mean, they did it.
Yeah.
They didn't work for over a year. Nothing.
That's true, so they had.
Well, you know,
Now they got.
we kept working, we were sending cases. So was everybody else. But now they got it, now they got to catch up. Move on top of that.
Yeah,
That's gonna be a mess.
Wow, that's gonna be a real mess. God. Hey, Rob,
What they should do
I forgot
is
about.
keep the old one and the new one gets city, I mean, it's too bad they gotta bring in sitting people, but maybe they could do trials in both places.
I know, right?
Cause they can't keep the old one, 'cause he wants his property.
The parking lots might have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all that.
Yeah, that's money out
They're
there.
supposed to be out a long time ago.
Oh, that's all. Lots going back, and that's gonna be filled up.
Huh?
Lots, a lot of the money is going to there and here. You know, you know what I mean? They're gonna be, they're gonna have full of these. Do we have any lots?
Lots, we
Like that parking lots?
over there?
Yeah, over where they got the.
I don't know, I don't think that he's supposed to build a parking lot. But he's gonna build a parking lot, he's gonna charge.
Yeah, well, that's what they charge it out here anyways. I don't know how much, probably a lot more than. To these guys, I mean, sometimes you get them by house, sometimes they get 10 or something, and the gangs come. Well, at least they get money still for it. Yes, park. Or these big concerts they have like with.
Yeah, I don't know how much parking they got on there, so I mean, it's limited space, so. They have to build up.
They lease some parking lots anyway, so they just tell them that they lease. They lease them, I thought people own them. No. No one on my lot. Yeah, you own. Or village. People don't own their parking lots. They pay a lot of money to lease them too. So, they make. Everybody thinks they making all that money, but. They pay. Got your ticket to Beyonce concert, money?
No, sir. We had this conversation yesterday, and that's why.
It went to dancers.
It wasn't a answer.
That's something she come here on a Wednesday. I know Wednesday and all that. She said, I ain't doing nothing on Wednesday. I guess I go to Detroit. I'll make a few million.
Exactly. Exactly.
And still have my weekend. Stay over.
Wherever she's at, they're going to come.
Yeah, you going, right?
I looked at tickets
I knew you
tomorrow.
already had your tickets. You got them already?
No, I'm not going.
I don't think anybody over 35.
I don't pay big money for concerts.
I don't really hear them talking about it.
I
They was
mean,
doing
yeah,
Taylor Swift.
I haven't
That's what
either.
I say here. Besides down here, when we come to work, they talk about Beyonce coming. And you wouldn't even know it. And it's tomorrow.
Maybe we're listening to the wrong radio station.
Yeah. Taylor Daniels on the news. Like she gonna be here. Yeah, she coming. And she marketed it, it's marketed it was.
Beyonce don't have.
Juanita brought it down. Taylor Swift brought it down. Maybe she's not coming.
And that would be something. I look at the docket for tomorrow. I looked at the docket for tomorrow. It's a lot. People will be paying $100 for parking.
Oh, that's true. Oh. We got heavy dock. Yeah.
Well, that's not till after work.
Yeah.
You know they come down here.
Oh, my. Well, they got the Tigers game for 10:30. No, that's Thursday.
Say it again?
The last cases are set for 10:30. Yeah,
Well, hopefully it'll be nice
It's just
to not raise the prices.
Put a lot of cases together, we get to knock them out, that's how we do it, knock them out. So we'll have to have attitude like that sometimes, we knock them out. See, so why you got me off the job, knock them out. You don't park at the gym?
I need to.
Why you don't park there?
I don't like waiting all that time to get out of there.
Okay.
It's so congested.
What's going on there?
Did you fill out the,
Same thing.
order? So I can send out.
I figured as much.
Yeah, 5 times already.
I never had it. At least, maybe I put it, maybe you put it in the file. Maybe you put it, oh, yeah.
Cool. See what we see. This is Jerry, 233. Can you have Mr. Peterson come up?
Okay.
Yeah. I think he's coming up. Peterson? I think, yeah, I think one.
Never knew he was in this.
Yeah, I just didn't want to look at his face.
Yeah, you slipping on your pen.
Do what?
You slipping on your pen.
No, that's not.
No, he
You're
said
supposed to see him.
he's challenging, challenging.
Everybody with you.
Challenge.
Yeah, that's what you said. We've been talking about that.
I'm good.
Who's coming from the Hudson Valley, coming from London. He's zooming across
Oh,
the
that's
street.
wrong, man. That's wrong. That's
Hey,
wrong.
I'm sorry, I gotta rub that in on, cause you know that's what you need.
Really? You didn't watch, so you ain't never seen that Untouchables?
You gotta see it.
I don't know if I ever saw the movie.
You saw the whole series?
You know, it's a series.
Yeah, well, that's what one man.
Yeah, they done had a whole lot of movies about the Untouchables, though, right?
Not really. Well, in the old days, they had a lot of series like that.
They seem to be movies about, they might call them different things, but that's all those characters.
Oh, Oh, yeah, they had phones and all.
And then you heard about, yeah, but he was another man, Capone. He was,
Yeah.
untouchable, Elliot Ness was trying to.
Lucky, that's also an officer, or is he?
Who?
The officer.
Elliot Ness is the attorney, right?
Elliot Ness is FBI guy.
attorney. But what about that movie with, one that played for us? Tom Hanks, you ever see that movie?
The one where he played the officer?
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, the son.
That's
Yeah.
it.
That was,
They have to, send a court.
and that was with them too. That was around that time. Because when we went to Chicago to work for,
So right now,
Frank Nitti.
Road
Road trip, that was good.
He's a very talented guy.
Oh, yeah, bad man.
You can let the clerk know for Judge Bryant, and then he can let, the prosecutor.
Right.
What's going on?
You telling me that?
Hey, first, I see.
So I saw.
Hey, read it. I said, I'll see you. Oh, that's.
Oh, yeah.
So I have a warrant. So I have like how. He said he's being charged federally, sued by.
He deserves it. He deserves it. And then what's his, it wasn't his first incident. He took this course, he get slammed into the concrete, man. And the boy, what do you, 90 pounds? What? I was low hanging fruit. Man, he could have just grabbed him, collared him, and put him up here and say, "You think you're a man?" Yeah, he is that. So, back again.
I was actually going today on this.
He's in custody, so yeah.
He was here before you.
She ready to?
Is she?
I think so, it's red. I don't know. I've never asked. Maybe I should. What do you?
He couldn't.
Attorney Hamilton.
Already.
We had a defendant like that.
Oh, yeah.
Archer was here,
I remember.
and they got mad, no matter what you call them, they was mad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Good morning. May I help you?
Good morning. My name is Lamont Ward. I am Judge Robbins' intern. And I have to have so many hours of observing examinations. So I was trying to find out, do you guys have any on today? I know Judge King does, but I was with Judge King for the past 2 weeks. So I was
Want to
trying to
know,
see
you said you want to know if we had what?
any examinations today.
We have one at 10 o'clock. Well, that should be resuming now. Let's get ready to start.
Okay. If it's possible, I can observe that.
Yeah, I'll let the judge know. You can go ahead and mute yourself. I'll let you know.
No problem.
Oh, is it? Mr. Newman came back with his dismissal.
He just went to regular.
He's on. I thought he was waiting.
Hey, come on, man. You all right? Both y'all OSC. Right. I don't think.
That's easy.
He came last time.
He came through.
You gonna tell me again after you're not. Oh. You see me trying to get this together.
You tell. Just what do you do? Put up his office.
Oh, yeah, he says.
You sent me two different ones and I was trying to download it.
I didn't hear.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, it is what it is. I see what you did there. I didn't wait.
I showed both my college on the school. That's not. He said he can't even, leap tall buildings like a single bomb.
Oh, yeah, no, I understand. Sure. I mean, I don't know if that actually is. It's at the beginning. Yeah, it's, I don't know. I just.
Huh? They done? No, they down to 11 players. That's okay to get 11, right? Yeah. That's the only one that had all that. No. She was well, I think they was doing probable cause or something. I don't know why we're all coming here and see what we got. What from, you know? Right. You don't do anything. Then.
Okay. Yeah. You just go ahead. It's all, it's gonna be, no. He's interested, right? Yeah, I think he's a show. Oh, really? All right, thank you. Yeah. Are we gonna hold both of them? Yeah. Let me go talk to the guy really quick, so I can maybe try and prep him before. The judge coming back on the bench, just cut.
Oh, well, we will.
Yeah.
You gotta tell me that. Man, what's the deal? Why they gotta go so hard on Peterson? They keep coming back. No.
Put in one more time.
23057
No, the only file I went got was Brown.
Oh, they thought it might have been up here. They didn't get you sent that. They thought it might have been.
Oh, okay. Can I take this back?
No,
I did not. I appreciate
that's
it.
it. That's all you needed.
Yeah, because this, bingo. So,
Okay.
thank you.
You're welcome. Mayor.
They gonna take it somehow. I want them to.
Everyone's here.
Everybody's here?
Everybody.
You let the judge know everybody's here? Okay. Thank you. Okay, this time.
Here, he's probably talking from the. You getting the.
We want to apologize.
I apologize how I acted the other day. I was completely out of turn with the way I acted towards you. It's my fault that I was late, and I do understand that. Try my best to be on time, and I just want to point out for you, no problem. Thank you, Your Honor. Parties on Peterson. Calling case number 230568873, People versus Terry Peterson. Defendant is charged in this case, count one, breaking and entering a building with intent. He's a visual offender, has a third offense notice. He's also charged in case number 2305721. And in this case, he is charged with count one, possession of methamphetamine, and count two, carrying a concealed weapon, count three, possession of a felony firearm. And in this case, it's a visual offender, third offense notice. Both matters are here for an exam. Appearances, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Adam Booker appearing on behalf of the people, P86266.
Good morning, Your Honor. Vanessa Hamilton, P82107, on behalf of Mr. Peterson. He joins us to my right. Please say your name.
Terry Peterson. Thank you.
I'm ready to proceed on both cases. They both stem from different dates. Whichever one the court would like me to do first, it's fine.
The B&E first.
Okay. For that case, Your Honor, the people would call the first witness, Donald Selman.
Spell your last name, please.
Selman, S-E-L-M-A-N.
Thank you. Step this way, Judge will swear you in.
Where are persons that truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
Yes, sir.
Close the door towards you and have a seat, please. All right, Mr. Selman, you're gonna be asked a series of questions. First by the prosecutor, and the defense attorney will probably ask you some questions. I may or may not ask you questions.
Okay.
You have to answer all your questions out loud verbally using words. You just can't shake your head and say, say yes or no, whatever the answer is.
Okay, yes, sir.
Also, when you ask a question, I need you to, listen to that question, answer that question and stop. If it's a yes or no type question, just say yes or no. If they need additional information, they'll just ask you another question. All right? We all have a tendency when we talk about something that may or may not have been traumatic to us, we tend to ramble. Because we want to get the whole story out. We'll say this happened, this happened, this happened, go on. If you do that, I'm gonna miss something.
Okay.
If I miss something, I might not make the right decision, okay?
Yes.
I know nothing about this case. Only thing I know about this case is the defendant's name and what he's charged with. I know your name, all right? That's it. I get all my information from what happens in court. One question, one answer at a time. That way I can understand.
Got it.
All right, thank you. May I proceed?
Thank you, Judge. Sir, could you please state your name for the record one more time?
Donald Stephen Selman.
And Mr. Salmon, I'm gonna direct your attention right back to May 10th of 2023. We got the location of 18690 Mount Elliott.
Yes.
Is that in the city of Detroit, County of Wayne?
Yes.
And what is at that location?
2 buildings in the house.
Okay. What kind of buildings are there?
They're 2 commercial storage buildings.
Okay. Do you have any ownership of those buildings?
Yes, my dad owns the whole thing.
Okay, and you are, okay, so I'm gonna direct your attention now to just after 2 p.m. on that date. What, if anything, happened that might bring us into court here today?
My guy who cuts the grass, when he was cutting the grass, found that there were 4 guys in the building. And they did not have permission to be in there.
You said who?
4 guys.
No, before that.
My grass cutter.
No, it's all hearsay.
Understood. Did you ever make it to that location
Yeah.
that day?
Yes, when I arrived there.
And when you arrived, did you observe anything?
I found 4 guys on my property.
Okay, and did you give anybody of those 4 men, did you give any of them permission to be there?
No, I've never met any of these guys.
Do you see any of those people that were in that building without permission? Do you see them in the courtroom here?
Yeah, that guy right there.
Okay, could you please point to him? And
Yeah, the
identify
guy
him?
right there, over there by the lawyer.
Okay, what is he wearing?
Green, prison gear.
Your Honor, may the record reflect the witness identified the defendant in this case, Mr. Peterson.
Okay,
So you see Mr. Peterson in there, and how many people were with Mr. Peterson?
3 other.
Did you say anything to them?
Yeah, I did say, I don't know why you guys are loading all that stuff in the truck. Could you please unload it? And 2 guys were still there unloading it, and the other 2 took off.
Okay, so there's a truck. Is it like a pickup truck or a box
It
truck?
was a pickup truck outside the storage building, and they were loading it up full of metal in the back of the pickup.
Did you give anybody permission to load that metal on?
No, I've never met any of these guys.
So after you ask them to please unload it, does Mr. Peterson say anything to you?
He said, sure, I'll unload it.
Okay, and did he unload it?
He started unloading it,
Okay, and what did you do?
And I was watching them while I was waiting for the police to show up.
Did the police eventually show up?
Yeah, Miss Officer Dowd eventually showed up.
One moment, Your Honor.
Can you spell your middle name, please? Steven?
EPH.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about this building, just a couple more questions. Is it, please describe, how does this building look from the outside?
I guess you could say maybe it looks abandoned.
Is it, does it have doors, like regular doors?
On the front mount, it has like a door with a sliding lock and then 2 roll-up doors, and they're locked from the inside, and then the gate has 2 master locks on it.
So these rolling doors, are they like garage doors?
Yep.
Were any of these doors that you just described to the court, were any of them open at this time?
All of them.
How do you normally open these doors?
From the inside. You have to actually go to the back alley and open this huge door, and then go inside and actually take the locks off each door.
Do you know how these doors were?
All the locks are missing.
Okay.
Even the ones on the outside, they were missing.
Yeah, and I have no further questions for this one.
Or Mr. Solomon.
Hello?
So you stated that your dad is the owner of the property, correct?
Yes.
Okay, you are not the owner.
No.
Is your name on any of the papers associated with ownership of the property?
Yeah, I'm vice president of the company.
I have the company that is registered at that address?
Yep.
Okay, but is your name on a deed?
Yep.
So your name is on the deed for this property?
Yep.
Okay. And when was the property purchased?
In like 1988.
And at what point was your name put on the deed?
What's the relevance?
Your Honor, if he did not own the property, he does not have the ability to give people.
Well, as you already said, he's the vice president, which you got, and his name is on the deed. So.
I'm just curious to see what his name is.
It's not relevant. You got it out there now.
All right. And so you said though you called your dad when the officers were there?
No, my grass cutter called my dad.
Okay, and then.
And I arrived with the deed because he told me he had the deed.
Okay, so the grass cutter called your dad and your dad called you?
Two hours at work. We all work literally 1 mile away.
Okay, and then when your dad called you, you went to the property?
Yep.
Did you call the police before you went to the property?
Yes.
Okay. And why did you call your dad then to see if they were allowed to be there?
I never called it to see if they were allowed to be there.
So you never called your dad?
My dad sent me straight there from work because he got the phone call from the grass cutter. I was standing right next to my dad.
Okay, and so are you aware of any property management companies that are hired to manage the property?
Just my dad's grass cutters.
Just the grass cutters? Do they provide any other services to the property?
No.
No further questions, Your Honor.
No redirect, Your Honor.
Thank you. Just a minute.
And Your Honor, the people have no further witnesses and would rest.
Vince, have any witnesses?
No witnesses.
Your Honor, the people move for a bind over on count 1. As we heard from Mr. Solomon, he's the vice president of the company that his dad, I believe, is the primary owner of. They own this building. He arrived at this location, identified Mr. Solomon as being present, not having permission to be there, in a pickup truck full of scrap metal. The locks were missing on the doors. Your Honor, I believe we've met our burden for the bind over today, and would ask the court to do it.
Your Honor, we would object to bind overness that this case be dismissed. I don't believe that the prosecution's met their burden in showing that, that the defendant didn't have a legitimate purpose to be there. It simply stated that the locks were removed from the property. There's nothing describing any sort of breaking or entering, any sort of force into.
He's not charged with breaking in.
Yes.
Well, wait a minute, he's charged with breaking in with intent. He broke the barrier. Once you go through the door, go through the opening, that's a breaking. That's
So
all you have
the
to do.
The Michigan jury instructions state, to prove this charge, the prosecutor must prove each of the following elements. First, that defendant broke into the building. It does not matter whether anything's actually broken. However, some force must have been used. We've heard no testimony today that speaks to any sort of force being used to enter the building. We heard that locks were missing, Your Honor. And it's our defense's position that he was there, appropriately for the proper purposes.
You got nothing on this record, nothing that says he was there appropriately.
We also have nothing on the record showing that there was any sort of force. And we have nothing on the record showing that he couldn't have been there. He didn't run away.
Again, you can't argue a fact that is not on this record, counsel.
That I would make
You
that
can only
argument.
argue based on the facts that are on the record. I understand what you're saying about the force. I understand that. But all this other stuff about why he was there, that's just not on the record, and you can't argue it. You just can't make it up.
The only testimony we have is that
you can't make it up.
He stated he did not know the guys. He never said anything about not giving permission, whether or not he had permissive authority over this building to begin with. We just didn't hear testimony on that matter.
Okay.
And so for that reason, we object and ask for dismissal.
All right.
As for the lack of permission, Your Honor, I did ask him multiple times if he had given permission for these gentlemen to be present in the building, and then I asked again if he had given permission for anybody to take any of the scrap metal. He said no, he didn't give permission to either one. So, Your Honor, just want to clear the record on that. As for the force, obviously, I don't have direct evidence on the record of somebody seeing the defendant in this case walk up and smash locks off the building. But circumstantial evidence is just as strong as direct evidence, Your Honor. And I mean, we have 4 individuals present inside of the building, loading up scrap metal. They have no permission to be there, and the locks are missing. I mean, we can only assume circumstantially that those locks were removed by force, Your Honor. So I believe, again, the people have met their burden and would again ask for the bond.
Your Honor.
No.
May I make a record, Your Honor?
No. You've made your record. He gets his argument. You get your argument. He gets rebuttal because he has the burden. That's where it starts. That's where it stops. So no, you don't get to say anything else. Sit down. Thank you. I follow the rules of evidence in this court. All right, court having heard the testimony, argument finds as follows. Heard from Donald Selman that on May 10th, 2023 at 18690 Mount Elliott, that address places 2 commercial buildings and a residential home or whatever. His dad primarily owns the building. His name is on the deed. That he is the vice president of the company that owns the building. That he found, father got a phone call from the grass cutters who called, the father called him. He went over to investigate. He found 4 guys on the property. They were removing metals, putting it in a pickup truck. That he gave no one permission to remove anything from the building. He identified the defendant as being on the property and in the building. That he said he would unload the metals. We showed up. They did say that the building looked abandoned, that all the doors were open. The garage type doors back, the locks were missing. At this point, part of the issue as to the breaking, I mean, it's circumstantial based on the facts presented. That the defendant was obviously on the property that was not, that he had no permission to be on. As Mr. Solomon said, he gave no one permission to be there, and no permission to take anything from it. And he was in the process of taking metals from it. Court finds that the felony enumerated in the complaint warrant did in fact occur in the city of Detroit. Probable cause exists to charge this defendant. He'll be filed over to Wayne County Circuit Court Criminal Division for arraignment on the information. And we'll go into that after we finish our next exam, when it is.
Can I call my witness on second exam, or would you like me to wait a little bit?
Give me 1 second, try to catch up. All right, court is calling case number recalling case number 2357121. People State of Michigan versus Terry Scott Peterson. How do you pronounce this one more time, please?
Of course, Your Honor, adding book appearing on behalf of the people, P86266.
Good morning, Your Honor. Vanessa Hamilton, P82107, on behalf of Mr. Peterson, who stands to my right. You say it.
Terry Peterson, thank you. All right.
People are ready to proceed on this case. We call police officer Marty Dara.
Marty
Dara, D-A-R-A.
M-A-R-T-Y?
Yes, ma'am.
D-A-R-A. Okay, Judge will swear you in this.
Okay. You swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, come up, have a seat.
Thank you, Judge. Sir, could you please state your name for the record?
Officer Marty Dar,
Okay, and, sir, where are you employed?
Detroit Police Department, 6th Precinct,
How long have you been with PPD?
about 5 years now.
I'm gonna direct your attention back to April 26th of 2023. Were you at the location of 21746 Schoolcraft?
Yes, sir.
Is that in the city of Detroit, County of Wayne?
Yes, sir.
And were you in your work capacity at that location?
Yes, sir.
Were you working alone or with a partner?
I was working in a 3-man vehicle. My partners were Officer who was driving, Officer Cortez, who was the passenger, and I was the 3rd man in the back seat.
Okay. And were you on, okay, so you were in a car, so you weren't on foot. Were you in uniform?
Yes, sir.
Was your scout car marked?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna direct your attention to just after 11 p.m. on that date. Actually, before I even direct your attention to that, please tell me, what is at 21746 Schoolcraft in Detroit?
It's a BP gas station. It's a green light location as well.
So were you on your regular patrol at that location, or were you dispatched different?
It was just regular patrol, driving through the lot. We usually check on that location.
And while you were checking on that location just after 11 p.m., did you observe anything that might bring us into court here today?
Yes, there was a black Ford pickup truck that had an expired dealer plate that my partners were observing. And it was Mr. Peterson who was sitting over there. He was standing outside by the driver's door.
Okay, so let me stop you right there. So you see this person that you just said named Mr. Peterson?
Yes.
All right, and where do you see him?
He's standing outside the vehicle by the driver's side of the vehicle looking towards in our direction.
Okay, so. I'm not sure.
You go on back a little bit. Thank you.
Okay, so that person that you see standing by that driver's side door, do you see that person in the courtroom here today?
Yes, sir.
Could you please point to that person and identify them by an article of clothing?
Seated in the front row with the green shirt on top.
Thank you. Your Honor, may the record reflect that the witness in this case has identified Mr. Peterson.
The record so reflect.
Thank you. So you see Mr. Peterson, you said standing outside the driver's side door.
Yes.
Okay, and do you observe him do anything else?
He's looking in our direction. My partner's Officer Reese is driving around the lot as my partner Officer Cortez is going through the lien information.
Okay,
And
don't tell me anything about the lien, but does Mr. Peterson ever enter the vehicle?
Yes, as we're driving around the lot, he gets into the vehicle and drives off.
Okay, and so what do you observe your partner who's driving? What do you observe them?
So we get to go behind him. He goes onto Outer Drive and makes eastbound turn to Schoolcraft. So my partner officer Reese drives up to get behind him to activate for a traffic investigation for expired plate.
Okay, and was that traffic stop ever initiated?
Yes, on Pearson, south of Schoolcraft, just north of Davidson.
And so when the traffic stop was initiated, did the pickup truck that you were initiating traffic stop on, did it ever stop?
Yes, it stopped, and Mr. Pearson exited the vehicle, and he had a female passenger exit the vehicle as well.
Okay.
He was given orders to stop moving and stop reaching around. He continued to.
Let me stop you right there before, let me just ask you a couple questions. So are you giving him any orders at this time?
I'm telling him to stop reaching into his pockets.
Okay, and so what do you observe him doing before you issue that order?
So he's digging into his pockets, pulling items out of his pockets.
Do you ever see specifically the items that he pulls out of his pockets?
No, it's just a bunch of miscellaneous items that he's taking. Can't really tell. So he's taking a whole bunch of items out of both pockets and he's throwing them into the bed of the truck.
Okay, so does the bed of the truck, does it have any sort of cover over the top or anything?
No, it's open. And he's throwing it, it's on the passenger side, the rear corner by the tailgate. He's throwing it into that corner as we tell him to stop.
Now, when you're telling him to stop, are you in your vehicle or are you outside?
We're outside the vehicle.
Okay. And how far away from Mr. Peterson are you standing when you're giving him those orders and observing him doing these things?
I'd say possibly where that female seating in the back row.
Okay, so
as we're approaching, because we're not sure if he has a weapon and what he's reaching into.
Okay, wait, no, just wait for the questions, answer the question that you asked. Okay, just gotta slow down a little bit. Don't too fast for me.
Yeah, my apologies.
All right. So, just over there, that's about what, 40 feet?
I would stipulate for that being about right.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Okay, so you're about 40 feet away from Mr. Peterson, and what do you do after you issue those commands to him for him to stop reaching? What do you do after?
So when he does stop reaching, when he emptied all this stuff out, he approaches us, he's following commands, and I place him into handcuffs.
Okay, why do you place him in the handcuffs at that time?
Because he wasn't following any commands, continued to reach. Even after he appeared like he was gonna stop, he handed his keys off to the passenger. So it's not until he had gotten everything out of his pockets that he followed commands.
Okay, and so what do you do after placing handcuffs on Mr. Peterson?
So he's placed in handcuffs. I walk around the vehicle along with my partner officer Reese. On the driver's side of the vehicle, he had locked all the doors and given keys to the female passenger. On the driver's side of the vehicle, you can see in plain view just by looking through the window, there's a black handgun tucked between the seat and the center console. The handgun's sticking out.
So let me stop you right there. So between which seat and the center
So
console?
it's right on the driver's seat, right by the seat belt, there's a pistol tucked in. Between the seat and the center console. If I'm seated in the driver's seat, the gun would be right here on my right side.
Okay. And what did you do when you observed that gun in plain view?
So the vehicle was still locked, so I walked around to check the bed of the truck where Mr. Peterson was emptying his belongings. And I observed it's a black canister. I've seen this type of canister usually before for marijuana. It's a black canister that was in the exact corner where he was reaching. So I recovered that and I opened it up and there was a baggie of meth. Well, suspected meth, but it was confirmed later on to be meth.
Okay, so you recover what you believe is suspected narcotics?
Yes.
Explain to me, when you looked into the trunk or into the bed of that pickup truck, what did you see? Was there just one or two things in there, or was there?
There was just a large amount of like miscellaneous tools, vehicle parts, all kinds of large debris in there.
Okay. Does.
Oh, I need to back up.
Sure.
You said you recovered what you thought was suspected meth from where?
It was in a black canister that was in the corner where he was emptying his belongings.
So in the bed or outside?
In the bed.
Okay. In the black canister.
Yep.
How big is that black canister?
It is, I'm sure you probably, my hand's probably this tall, not very wide.
3-4 inches tall?
Yes, smaller canister.
All right. Does Mr. Peterson ever provide a concealed pistol license to you?
No, well, CPL.
Was a CPL provided by the unidentified female passenger that was with him?
No.
With that suspected narcotics that you told us that you recovered, what do you do with that after you recovered?
So I notified our narcotics unit and they provided me with a lock seal number and that they would be going through with the investigation, so we'd have to transport it later on to them, place it on evidence with them.
So what was a lock number issued for these
Yes,
suspected
sir.
narcotics? Your Honor, it's my understanding defense would stipulate to the reading in of the lock seal number.
Right.
Would the court prefer me to do it or the witness?
Whatever you stipulate to.
Understood. Your Honor, it's it's stipulated, lock seal number N as in Nancy, 005-749-041. And Your Honor, it's also my understanding that defense would stipulate to the admission of the laboratory, the TrueNarc test on those suspected narcotics, without the use of the officer that actually tested the narcotics for today's case for exam purposes only.
That's correct, Your
Right, yeah, when it comes in, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Your
Sorry,
Honor?
Judge.
I said that would come in anyway, that's the TrueNarc test.
Oh, of course, Your Honor.
For example.
Per 76611B, of course. And so I would move for its admission into people's proposed exhibit 1.
Any objection?
Honor. No objection, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm just reading the relevant portions in for the record. This was tested by Officer Caban Lewis for lock seal number N as in Nancy 005-749-041. TrueNarc test tested positive for MDMA, amphetamine MDMA, 93.5 as packaged grams. Your Honor, permission to publish?
Yes.
Thank you. John, I have no further questions for this witness.
Yes. Cigar. So you stated that you initially saw my client at a gas station, is that correct?
Yes.
And you stated that you stated that he got into the driver's seat of the vehicle?
Yes.
And then you proceeded to follow that vehicle?
Well, my partner, Officer Ruiz, was driving.
Okay, and how long was the vehicle that you were in following this vehicle?
I'd say it was maybe 2 minutes, 1 or 2 minutes, not that long, because we had to curve around the freeways there, so we had to take the curve around to get behind him on Schoolcraft.
Okay. And would you say you were closely following him the whole time?
Yes, he wasn't that far from us.
Okay, did you ever lose sight of him?
No.
And when you arrived, see the car that he was in pulled into a driveway, correct?
He pulled into on Pearson.
Resident, and that's a residential address?
Yes.
And at that point, did you see him get out of the car?
Yes.
Okay, and he got out of the driver's seat?
Driver's seat.
Did you have a dash cam that day?
Yes.
Okay, and was the dash cam video provided to the prosecutor?
Oh, I didn't handle the evidentiary part.
And did you have a body camera on that day?
Yes.
And so you stated there was someone else there as well?
Yes, a female passenger.
Okay. And when you got out of your car and began approaching the vehicle, was the female passenger on the passenger side of the vehicle or the driver's side of the vehicle?
She was on the passenger side.
Okay. And was Mr. Peterson also on the passenger side?
Yeah, he moved over to the passenger side. That's when we were giving him commands to stop.
Okay, so they were both on the passenger side?
Yes.
If I showed you your body cam video from that day, would you be able to identify it as a date and time?
The date and time would be,
Or as to just the same day as the incident
Yeah.
that was discussing. This is the best way for me to hop on Zoom.
Proof why we looking at the video. Council,
Sorry, what's that?
need to offer proof, why are we looking at the video?
Your Honor, because it just more closely shows what was happening that day, the positioning of Mr. Peterson and.
Using it as impeachment or what?
Yes.
Oh, that's all I'm asking for. I'm just asking why we're doing this.
I'm just waiting to be admitted, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I'm just waiting to be admitted into the. Would it be possible to make me a co? You have to make me a co-host of the meeting?
No, the share screen is available.
Oh. Another video. Just for the record, Your Honor, I'm gonna, this is at 32 seconds. The image I'm showing you, is that what looks to be the address on Pearson that you were at that day?
it's a little clear. With the pickup truck right there?
Yeah, is that the
looks
pickup
like
truck
the
on
area.
your right-hand side?
Yes.
And I'm going to, are you able to identify who the person is wearing blue?
Can't see it very clearly.
Okay, is there a glare?
Yeah.
Would it be possible to have them move down, or is there somewhere you can stand, or is that too much of it?
You can, yeah, you can stand up.
I don't recall off the top of my head what he was wearing.
You have to authenticate the video first. You haven't done that before you can even start asking questions about it.
Yes, so this this looks like a Pearson address to you.
It looks like.
Your Honor, I would ask to, I would move to admit and publish the.
That still doesn't authenticate the video.
Is this what this scene looks like to the best of your recollection?
Yes.
I don't know what that means. Does this scene look like the best of recollection? What, you have to authenticate the video. The video itself.
And so you had body camera on that day?
Yes.
And does this look like an image that body camera would have captured?
So I never watched my video from this day. I can't tell you if this is my camera or not. And I don't recall what he was wearing specifically, so I can't tell you if that was him or not, based off.
Okay, but does it look like the address that you were at?
It looks like the area.
Okay, and does it look like that was the same date and time that we're
It
discussing?
looks like the same time, it was dark out. I can't tell you the date.
You're not gonna move to it.
Anything?
No objection.
All right, move it.
And so I'm just gonna play the video and then I'm gonna ask you some questions about it.
Is this my camera?
I believe it might be your partner camera.
I think that's off.
So we don't know what it is.
That's off.
Hold on, we don't know what it is.
Can't tell you.
Well, at this point, no, I'm not gonna allow it.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right,
No redirect from the people, Your Honor.
all right, thank you, step down. Thank you.
The people have no further witnesses, Your Honor, I would rest.
Nothing for the defense, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, people were moved for bind over on count 1, 2, or 3 as it pertains to Mr. Peterson in this case, Your Honor. We heard testimony from Officer Dara. Traffic stop was initiated for, I believe he said expired plates. When they actually did initiate the traffic stop, the officer identified Mr. Peterson as getting out and he's starting to not only distance himself from the car, because he gets out of the car without being asked to, but he starts taking things out of his pockets. He's distancing himself from all these belongings that he's trying to ditch in the trunk of the bed of the truck. And the officer walks around, he sees a gun in plain view between the driver's side door, or excuse me, the driver's seat and the center console. And the driver's seat is where Mr. Peterson was seen entering and exiting that car. And then when the officer goes to investigate those items that Mr. Peterson was trying to distance himself from, he finds a container with suspected narcotics. And as you can see from the report in front of the court, that tested positive for MDMA and fentanyl.
Okay, what gave him the right to remove that container?
Your Honor,
From the bed of the truck, that's where it was.
I understand
He took it out of his pocket. This was removed from the bed of the truck. What gave him the right to?
Well, he has reasonable suspicion to investigate the items that Mr. Peterson is trying to.
Out of his pocket. This
Right.
is a container. I don't know how big this container could have been, a coffee-sized container or what, I don't know how big it was.
I understand that.
But he didn't say he removed the container from his pocket. He said he saw a container in the back of the truck.
Yes, sir.
And that he took the container and opened it up. So what gave him the right to do that?
Well, Your Honor, I would argue that, an item being in the bed of a truck is.
It's in plain view.
Exactly.
So we have a container.
Yes.
That's all we got.
Right.
A black container. That's what I got, a black container. That's all. What gave him the right to remove property that was in the back of this truck, this black container, and decide he's gonna open it up? That's the only thing I need to know.
I understand. I'm arguing to the court that he had reasonable suspicion and probable cause to investigate that container because Mr. Peterson is.
What gave him reasonable suspicion?
Mr. Peterson's acting, he's not following commands, he's acting
So?
erratic, he's trying to.
That's why he
distance
was in
himself from
handcuffs. That's still we talking about search and seizure issue now.
Well, I don't believe it's an issue in this case, Your Honor, because the officer didn't just go ahead and open the door. This is in the bed of a truck. It's even less private. There's even less expectation of privacy.
Yeah, but he removed it from the truck and opened it.
I understand.
So what you're telling me, that any officer has the right to come up and you got a pickup truck, go in the back of your pickup truck, take anything he wants out of it, look through it, because he wants to, right?
Well, Your Honor, it's not just, this isn't just a random instance of an officer walking by a truck and picking something out of the truck bed.
Well, that canister it is.
I would argue it's not, Your Honor.
How?
He's
How? What
detained.
reasonable suspicion does he have to go into the back of the truck?
Well, he just found a gun or.
In the car, in the truck,
Right,
guns in the
plain
truck.
view, in plain view.
In the truck, inside.
Yes.
So now we're gonna go all the way to the outside of the truck.
Yes.
To somewhere in the bed of the truck, and I'm gonna start searching there, because I'm the police officer and I wanna do that.
It's not random in this case, Your Honor. These are the objects he observed Mr. Peterson ditching from.
No, not that canister.
Understood, Your Honor.
No.
Understood. I would argue also that there is a lower expectation of privacy in the bed of a truck.
So-
Objects that are there.
So there still is an expectation of privacy, right?
I would argue very
You can't
little.
stop the officer from looking.
I understand. I understand the court's
But
position.
that's all he can do is look. He can't touch unless he has a reason to touch.
Right.
And that's what I'm asking you for the reason to, and so far you haven't given me one.
Understood, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Your Honor, we would object to bind over a request dismissal for the CCW charge specifically, which is count two of the charge. There was no testimony specifically to any knowledge of the weapon in the vehicle. There was someone else at the scene, and we have no testimony as to any investigation as to if that beyond that person did not have a CPL, but no testimony as to who this could have belonged to, into any investigation to the other person. The other person could have been claiming, hey, that's my gun, but we have nothing.
Again, you're gonna argue facts that are not in evidence. I don't have anything that this other person said, or claimed, or did.
That's why.
So you cannot argue facts that are not in evidence. You can't make up stuff.
I'm not arguing that happened, Your Honor. I'm just saying that there's a lot of space and possibility that could have been that other person's gun, but we had no.
Again, you can only argue what was reasonably brought forth from the evidence, counsel. That's not reasonably brought forth from the evidence. That's making something up.
There was a second person at the scene, Your Honor. No investigation into that second person whatsoever when it comes to the weapon or when it comes to the controlled substances. Also, Your Honor, in terms of the search for the methamphetamine or for the MDMA, Your Honor is correct. They had no reason to be in the back of that vehicle. We have nothing on the record that states why they were able to do a search like that. In fact, it's a pickup truck. These items that were in the back were not within reach of the people that were in the vehicle. And we don't really have any testimony as to the vehicle itself, right? It could have been at that address. No testimony as to what happened with the other person at the scene, her involvement with the vehicle. And for that reason, Your Honor, I don't believe that the prosecution has met their burden on any of the charges on this account.
Thank you, Your Honor, and I won't belabor the point, but I will say again, I believe the officer had the right to examine that canister and look at it. Because that's
the only part. You keep telling me that, but you're not telling me how he had the right.
I understand, and I will, Mr. Peterson is getting rid of these objects and throwing them in the truck bed from what we heard in the testimony.
But it wasn't the canister.
The officer does that wingspan search of that area that he is at. The officer testified. I go back to the area where I saw him getting rid of the things in the truck bed, and I find this black canister. And I open it, and sure as he finds suspected narcotics. I'm arguing a wingspan search. I'm also arguing that there's a lower expectation of privacy in the bed of a pickup truck that has no cover on it. Now, if there's a cover and the officer goes and gets the keys and unlocks the truck, the tailgate, opens the tailgate and starts rummaging through the things, completely different, in my opinion. This is an open area of this vehicle. It is not subject to the same constitutional protections as the inside of the vehicle. And that's my argument, Your Honor. And as it pertains to the CCW, I believe you guys met our burden. The gun is found right there in that area. Circumstantially, I believe I've met my burden for sure on that, Your Honor. So again, I would ask for the bind over on all counts and respectful. Thank you, Judge.
All right, for having heard the testimony, argument finds that on April 26, 23, approximately 11 o'clock, a little bit after, at the old Marty Darda, Detroit Police Department was on patrol in the area 21746 Schoolcraft, which is a BP gas station, also a green light location. That upon pulling up in that area, he noticed a black Ford pickup truck that had expired plates on it. The defendant was standing outside the vehicle. He then got into the vehicle and drove off. They got behind the plate, made a traffic stop. The defendant exited the vehicle, started digging in his pockets and throwing items into the bed of the truck. He was approximately 40 feet away. Vehicle had pulled up into a driveway. He kept telling, the officer told the defendant, we identified as the defendant, Mr. Peterson, who was driving the vehicle, that to stop putting his hands in his pockets and removing things. He didn't listen to him. He gave the keys to the female. So then he then approached him. He put him in cuffs at that point. He then walked up to the vehicle, and between the driver's seat and the center console, in plain view, he saw a black handgun that was in the vehicle. And then he was looking in the trunk bed. He said there was a number of things, tools, car parts, etc. And he saw a black canister in the bed. He then took the canister out, and it had a suspected methamphetamine in it, that it was going to put a lock cell folder number N005749041. And at some point it was tested, and True Narc came back as 93.5 grams of methamphetamine. All right. We have reasonable suspicion. We have a legal stop. There was a traffic stop. Defendant got out of his vehicle, started walking towards officers, throwing items into the truck. Never said he threw a black canister into the truck. You know, the black canister was just sitting in the back in the bed. Now, that's private property. And there is a reasonable expectation of privacy for that property. And he did not have reasonable suspicion to do anything in the back of that truck, other than look. I mean, because it's open, he can look all he wants. If he looked and said he saw something, that's different. But if he looked and he saw a black canister and decided on his own he's gonna open it, he had no right to do that. You know, as a result, that's a Fourth Amendment issue, and I'm going to suppress that as to the drugs. So that, as to count one, court is dismissing. As to count two, which is the carrying a concealed weapon, the court's gonna find that, I mean, it was in plain view. It's right next to the defendant, right between the seat and the console. You can see it from standing outside. You can see it if it was sitting right there. So the court's gonna bind him over on the carrying concealed weapon. Count three, weapons, felony firearm. I don't know where that's coming from.
That's attached to the count one, so in fairness, Your Honor, if Your Honor is dismissing count one, should also dismiss count three as well.
All right, then I'm gonna dismiss count three. So I'm gonna bind only over on count two. Find that felony did in fact occur in the city of Detroit, probable cause of discharge the defendant. He'll be bound over to Wayne County Circuit Court Criminal Division for arraignment on the information. We can talk about that now.
Also, Your Honor, would it be possible for me to raise bond?
That's what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about his bond. And so that, and then I'll give you, based on his bond, whether he's in or out, I'll give you a arraignment date. Okay? 1 second, just catch up. All right, go ahead.
Your Honor, we do understand this court's policy is being timely, and we do understand that there were multiple different times that Mr. Peterson was not timely into the courtroom. This does not suggest that he's not going to come back and deal with this case. He did come both times after being late, and has been put in custody on 2 separate occasions for that.
What happened after the first time? He got put in until we got you back here. First time.
Right.
Correct?
Correct. Yes, I was across the street.
And raised his bond. And then what happened?
And then he was able to post bond and was.
He was able to post bond or reinstated his bond?
I believe you reinstated it.
Thank you, that's the difference. I just want to make sure that we're clear with the facts here. Put your hands down, sir. I reinstated his bond and let him walk out of here.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I did make it very clear to him that he needs to be here on time. And then last week, he shows up over an hour and a half late.
But he showed up, Your Honor.
I don't care.
That's the argument that I'm trying to make in
It
terms of.
doesn't matter. I'm just letting you know, it holds no absolute weight to me that he showed up eventually. None. He has no respect whatsoever for the court and the whole process. He can't get here on time. He's looking at prison time. Possibly. He has 2 different cases. And he can't respect the system enough to show up on time when he's supposed to?
But he showed up, Your Honor, and he's not. a
Okay,
flight risk.
I got your argument.
He's
That
not.
all you want to say about it?
He also has a job that he's not able to tend to right now, which provides him the ability to take care of his son. He spends a lot of time with his son and is not able to spend time with him now. That's affecting his son. And when we look at the charges at the end of the day, these are no violent charges. There's nothing that's occurred that's been assaulted in any manner. I don't see him as a threat to the public. And we're asking that bond be lowered or a personal bond be granted, something that would allow him the opportunity to try to post, try to release, and try to get back to his job and be a productive member of society.
I thought he's self-employed.
He's got both construction and works for a property management firm. He has a lot of different opportunities to make income.
Right.
Your Honor, there's no indication that Mr. Pearson is a danger to the community. Even in the breaking and entering case that we heard today, he wasn't, assaultive with the complaining witness that was present or anything like that. So, is he a flight risk? Probably. I always encourage the possibility of having a defendant be a productive member of society because these are just allegations. Your Honor, I would leave this in the court's discretion, but I would not object. And if Your Honor does lower the bond, I would ask for something like a tether or a house arrest provision or something to ensure that he's not just, having the opportunity to fail to appear again.
That ain't gonna make him get nowhere on time.
I understand.
Your motion, you get rebuttal. Anything else you want to say?
No, Your Honor. I mean, just simply that I don't believe he's a flight risk. He has appeared. He's late, but he's appeared, and there's a lot that we can do, both as his attorney and his family, which his mother is in the courtroom today. He has support people that are willing to take those extra steps to make sure that he can arrive on time if he's not able to take those steps himself.
Well, I'm gonna tell you how I see it. You're a grown man. This is your case. It's not your mother's case. It's not your attorney's case. It's your case. Cases. You're supposed to be in court at 9 o'clock. You ought to have the sense enough to be there at 9 o'clock. Coming at 9 or 10:30, hour and a half later or later. No. And I don't know what court's gonna allow that. None that I'm aware of. If you can't have the wherewithal to get where you're supposed to be when you're, it's gonna be just like it is today. And I told you that the first time, didn't I? I said, I will provide all your transportation. I will make sure you get here when I want you here. Period. That's what I gotta do. Mr. Peters?
No, Your Honor. I'll make sure.
Well, that's what I've had to do so far.
I don't want to argue with you, but I was in the wrong. Simple as that. I'll make sure I'm on time. I don't want no hesitance. I'll own my own company, and I'll two to three other families also depend on me too. My guys work. They're waiting on my call to go back to work right now. I set up something every morning for these guys to go to do. I'm not a bad person. I just want to get this taken care of. I have it ran. I just want to be a productive member of society. That's it. That's all I've been trying to do. I apologize for being late. I was here at 9:45 for the last court case because I caught the bus from 24 miles in Bandit. And that's the only reason why I was late, Your Honor. As you can see, I still have the bracelet from being in the hospital the night before. I had a massive sinus infection on the left side of my face. I guarantee you I will never be late again in any court case, court data that you ever provide, or anybody else in that fact. You see that chance. I just want to go back to work, take care of my son. School's coming up, and I got to buy him all his clothes, and plus 3 other families worth of clothes too.
Because I don't think you're a bad person. I think you don't listen.
I'm a little harder, I know.
I was coming up, told me a hard head, man.
My mom will tell you the same thing about me. She kicked my ass a million times. She's my French.
All right. I'm gonna reinstate you have personal bond, correct? Oh, you have cash earning. Oh.
I had a personal from the beginning, and then he took my personal and made me pay the cash bond.
Right. I reinstate your personal bonds. I'm not gonna put you on the tether. I don't see a reason to do that.
I'll be here on time, I promise you.
So your next date is gonna be August 8th at 9 o'clock.
In your courtroom or?
No, that's across the street from your Frankfurt.
Okay, thank you so much, Your Honor.
That's this way, sir. Hey, Judge. The parties approach. Oh, I do need a dismissal form on,
Yes.
I need your question. No, listen.
Juanita, you got reports for us?
All the process. All, you know.
Just I had a file.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't seen. I see no question. Stop it there. That case is- Because you turned around and gave him a deed, you didn't get it. Which was what? Which was the witnesses or questions you asked, gave him all that. Yeah, anyhow. I hold on something. Okay, question. Okay. You know. Off the street. There's one out. Breaking part.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
But here is, you know, circumstantial. Some probably solved, probably. So, second part, the second case, I would take the drugs out. It's too more than just constitutional issues. You didn't show train control. He said that we called and got a, I should have told her that. Never went from where it went from there, you know, that he got the lactose folder. He put the drug in the lactose folder and that he transported narcotics. And then narcotics did what they do. Right. Okay, I gotta have all that. Because without it, there's no chain of control. I don't know, we could have went from them to somebody else.